Well, today's video is one that I'm very happy about and very excited to bring you guys. So, as you know, on the channel we've been doing the retro F1 content. So far, we've done F1 2020, 2019 and 2018. If you haven't seen these videos, I'll leave them linked up in the top right and also linked down below in the description. But today, we're here for one that I've been waiting for a little while. We are back on F1 2017. I love this game. I thought it was really cool for the time. And also, I love the cars. I thought they were really awesome. But not just that. Today we have an opportunity to race at, I wouldn't say a classic, but one of the more missed F1 circuits. And you guys know by now, looking at the title and thumbnail, that is Malaysia. So if you're going to enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe for more, as I'm going to keep doing these, going back in time all the way down to F1 2010. And let's jump into the video. Now then, we are going to jump into Grand Prix mode, and we're going to do a little 25% race. Now, for this one, what car are we feeling? What do I fancy driving in? Got a few decent options, you know, definitely some that will catch my eye. McLaren Honda being a tasty little option, but I'm going to probably save that for a future video. I think for this one, looking at what we have, I want to do the Williams as well, but I want to wait until I go to F1 2014, which is when the Williams was more competitive. So I'm going to go with Renault for this one, and for more than just one reason, because Renault also back here had Jolyon Palmer and Nico Hulkenberg, so we're going to drive as a German here today. So let's go ahead and select him now. Track-wise, we have near enough the same calendar. Russia was round 4 back in 2017, which feels pretty weird to say. What else do we have? So we've got the short circuits, but yeah, the one thing we're looking for, as you can see, nothing's different except for this right here, the Malaysian Grand Prix. So we're going to select that. We're going to do a 30-minute practice, just for me personally to get up to speed on this game really quickly. We'll do a 25% race. We're going to go for 105 AR, which is what I've been using in the last couple of videos of this series, and we'll turn the formation lap off. After that, we're going to go to the race settings. We'll go for simulation damage, safety car on, strict corner cutting limits, assists everything off, as you guys know by now, and then weather forecast dynamic. So if we get some rain, so be it. Anyway, let's get into the race. Now, before we jump into the race, I do have to just show you guys this because it's a bit of nostalgia, but who remembers when you used to call for the car setup? I was looking for it on the screen and I can't seem to find it anywhere, and then I remembered we get the old tablet handed to you in the garage. Oh man, this is a throwback and a half. This feels good. And if I can, I'll try and run the F1 intro, but I think I might get copyright, so I might do a little test. If I do it, you would have seen it at the start of the video, and if you have, hopefully you enjoyed it, but if not, then it's because of copyright reasons, but hopefully I put it in the video anyways.
Anything can happen in Formula One, and of course it usually does. Each team has their own story to tell here today, and they all want it to end the same way, on that coveted top step of the podium. Five lefts and 10 rights make up the 15 corners of Sepang's 3.4-mile circuit, a track where the weather always threatens to play a deciding factor. The drivers will be subjected to forces in excess of 4G and heavy braking zones in 4 of these corners, 2 of which come at the end of DRS zones into turn 1 and to turn 15. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're 2 very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometres per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind's all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Raikkonen, Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen, Perez, Ocon, Massa and Roman Grosjean, Magnussen, Kvyat, Carlos Sainz and Palmer, Alonso, Stroll, Stoffel van Dorn and Pascal Wehrlein. Ericsson and Nico Hulkenberg completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Well, here we are then on the grid at a overcast Malaysia, starting from P20 and last place. Now for this one, of course, we're going to go for the classic alternate strategy. So mediums on the car, and in this case softs, and then onto a set of the red tyre, the super soft in this case, the medium being the white and the hardest compound available in this race weekend. So yeah, no rain forecast. Fuel, I've come for one extra lap. I don't know what to expect. None of my setups are saved, so I've kind of just done a bit of a custom one, in the moment. Not sure it's going to work. I don't have any idea if this is what we used to use back in this game. I just remember the ballast being quite high. That's all I can remember. So it's a bit of a guess. But anyway, hopefully going to enjoy the race. The difficulty is more or less spot on. It's going to be quite tough to get a top 10. So let's see what happens, and let's have a bit of fun around Sepang. Well, here we go. Let's see. Can we get a decent start here? 5 lights are on. And we're underway. Easy does it off the line. There's no ERS here, by the way. So all we have is rich mix. So we're going to try and make these overtakes on track. Down to turn 1 though. AI going a bit slowly. We're going to just send the car around the outside and slowly make the moves. We try to have a look at Wehrlein there. No way through though. But we'll get ahead of Stoffel van Dorn. Now then, we race down towards turn 4. We've got Stroll and Palmer up ahead. On the anchors here. Up the inside we go on Pascal Wehrlein. Easy. Side by side with the young German. Around the outside we go. Not quite able to make that move stick as we pick up some understeer, but we get the switchback and we're going to get underneath him as we head into the double right. I've got to say that AI hold their own around the outside, much better than F1 2021. Wehrlein tries to hold on, but eventually we get ahead. Now I'm expecting the fuel to deplete quite quickly because there's no ERS. I'm guessing it's all down to fuel mixture. So pretty good thing that I actually started with a lap of fuel in the car. But next up, Lance Stroll in the Williams. This of course was his debut season. Let's see if we can have a look. And then after that, I'll be my teammate, Jolyon Palmer. So far, though, we're going to have to just be a bit patient. Now we can have a look. Let's see. I mentioned this in the F1 2018 video, but the further back we go in time, the more influence the power units are going to have. As of course, nowadays there's relatively decent engine parity, but now, back in these days, it was Mercedes and then everybody else after that. Maybe Ferrari, but even in 2017, Ferrari weren't at the level of Mercedes in terms of engines. So you can see here Stroll pulling away on the straight. We're going to have a look up the inside though on the brakes into turn 1. A late decision, but it pays off. And we're through up into P16. Jolyon Palmer is next up. I'm already starting to get that feeling of what this game used to be like. And, the drifting was the key thing to be fast. You had to drift the car in the corners using a high ballast and the brakes towards the rear. You had to try and drift the back end, switch it on, without killing the tyres. But then again, tyre temperatures weren't a thing back, in this game. I mean, they are in the game right here, but they're not as crucial as they are nowadays. They've done a good job of making tyre pressures and tyre temperatures a key aspect of the game in 2021. In the meantime, I was thinking about having a look on the outside of Palmer there, but no way through. We'll have a little look here though, as we set up the exit out of turn 2. Down through turn 3. Remember, no ERS, so we can't control that part of our car. Not quite there. Had a little look. Trying to put some pressure on Jolyon, but he's not buckling under the pressure so far. Not a lot happening at this stage as we're waiting for the tyre wear to kick in. DRS is now enabled, but I'm not really making much of a difference. It seems like we're a little bit slow on the straight, even compared to our teammate. I must be running a bit more of a higher downforce setup than I need to be. Hopefully that will kick in for us soon though. Just trying to see where I can be a bit quicker than the AI. Right now, I'm struggling to see where that might be. But hopefully, I think the real difference will be when we get on the super soft. I think we'll start to really show some pace then. In the meantime, they're going to have to be patient and look for the moves when they become available on Jolyon. But for now, we're a bit stuck really. Bit of a DRS train as there's another 6 or 7 cars ahead of us, and there's a bit of a gap to the others in the top 6 or so. Closing in on Palmer here. I thought about going for the lunge, but I felt like he would have turned in on me there. This time they were a lot closer. Let's see if we're competitive on the straight. I don't think we are, even being this close to Palmer. Into the final corner we go. I'm going to see if I can set up a bit of a better exit. That's better. A bit closer this time. Let's see. Might have to be a bit of a dive bomb to get this one done. Need to turn one. Alonso under pressure here from Palmer, as we are going to benefit from the fact that Palmer hesitated with the overtake to get that one done. He's still keeping his nose in there, so we have to leave some space, but we do get it done on the exit, and finally we're up to P15. Alonso should be easier to pass, of course, with that Honda power unit back in 2017, which was absolutely horrific. So let's have a look at getting the move on the Spaniard. Right, here we go. Can we get Fernando here? Set him up into the penultimate corner. Surely we've got the straight line speed to at least get the measure of a Honda powered car here. You can definitely see this time we're not dropping off, we're actually starting to catch him now. Up the inside we go as can't start to pit. Alonso goes in as well. That's good for us. The race is going to start to open up a little bit, which is good. Hopefully we can start to set some decent pace in clean air and go for a bit of an overcut of sorts. Now I'm expecting the remaining cars to pit this lap. I was going to pit this lap actually and go a bit earlier and gamble, but Palmer hasn't stopped yet, so hopefully he will this lap. We're going to get clean air and DRS in the pit straight though, as Magnussen and Sainz pit, and I'm assuming Palmer is going to follow. Yes, he does. Right, this is going to be our in lap, so let's give it everything we've got. Personal best, good pace. What a great in lap. On for a personal best. Absolutely nailed that. That lap felt so good. The best lap so far I've done back on this game. But we're now going to pit. Crucial phase of the race here. We need to nail this pit entry, which I haven't done in a good few years. Let's see if I can do it well enough. That'll do. On the limiter now, do not speed. Bit on the safer side there. I wasn't quite sure where to stop the car, but job done for us. Now we need the pit crew to do their job. I think we're aiming for a top 6 here, to be honest. I think, or top 7 maybe. Let's see, here comes Verstappen. 2.5, not a great stop. I had to manually press the trigger there, which is not like it is in the games nowadays. Back on the way though, it's going to be close with Sainz. Has the overcut worked? No, it hasn't. Sainz does lock up though into turn 1. The sounds feel really off in this game, I can't lie. Let's see if we can get Carlos though, ASAP, and at least be in the top 10. Here we go, closing in on the Toro Rosso. Up the inside, it's a lock up and a half, but we get the car slowed down and rotated, and we're through. So in the points, lovely jubbly. Now we're gonna trace after Felipe Massa here. But as I was mentioning in the pit stops, I've done the pull away method that you do on F1 2021 when you manually trigger it, but I've done the exact same thing. It didn't work. It seems like you have to wait a little bit longer, like a half a second longer, for it to really kick in. Either way, Felipe Massa next up. After that it's a Force India. Let's see if we can try and crack that top 7, top 6. Well, we have DRS on Felipe Massa now. After that I think it's Esteban Ocon. The issue is we have 2 Mercedes power cars ahead of us, which is going to make it quite difficult to get moves done, so we're going to have to be a bit aggressive and a bit ruthless. Personal best, the pace difference isn't that big on the softs, or the super softs in this case, as I expected. Only 1.1 up, so it means we're going to have to grit our teeth and have to make these moves on track and accept the tyre offset isn't that big. So let's see, there's 3 cars ahead of us that I'd love to pass, and if we get all 3 of them it would be P7, but it is going to be difficult, so let's take it 1 car at a time. The first one is going to be Felipe Massa, struggling through there to get the exit. I would have liked to have a look at the Williams man, but maybe through here on the soft tyres we can make something happen as we try to test the limits of the Renault to see where we can make things happen. That was good. That was a good exit there. This might be our chance. Up the inside of Felipe. Lock up on the left front, but we get the move done and we're through. That's one down. Ocon next up here. And he won't have the RS in this back straight or the pit straight, I don't think. So let's stay on board here for a second. We may get the chance to pass him straight away. Trying to push into there to minimise the gap between myself and Ocon. And we've done a good job there. He's going to put me right on the back of him. Let's see, where is the detection point? I think it's just ahead of us. Into the final corner, going to go for a nice wide line. Didn't lock up this time. And there we go, this should be it. Ocon will be fast, but we should still have the edge. We're struggling, you can see, to make the difference, even with the RS. Ocon goes defensive. Up the inside we go though. Bit of contact as we force it a little bit, but we're through. Take that. Wouldn't mind seeing that AI defend like that in F1 2022, to be honest. Move across at the last minute. Bit more interesting. Anyway, Perez next. P7 up for grabs here. Bit of a shame really, I've lost time on this lap to Perez. I think he's starting to pull away and I can't quite match his pace. I'll keep trying, but I think P7 might just slip away. It's going to be Hulkenberg tyres. Hang on a second, we might get P7. Now this battle all of a sudden is for P6. Too late for a safety car, but Kimi out of the race in the Ferrari. There we go, confirmation. On to the last lap of the race though. We'll try and catch Sergio, but I think it's going to be quite difficult, to be honest with you. We needed to have DRS right now. We've lost 3 tenths in the last lap, so that was not part of the plan. And here we go then, last lap of the race. Trying to close up as Hamilton wins in Malaysia. It's not going to happen though. I think also my tyres have started to let go a little bit, and the prime of the soft or the super soft has gone away. Still though, final corner. We'll take a P7. Decent recovery. And there we go, out the final corner. Job done across the line, and the Malaysian Grand Prix is in the books.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
Well, there we go then. That is it for the race here today at Malaysia. Good fun, I enjoyed it. Lewis Hamilton won it by 2 tenths over Sebastian Vettel and 7 tenths over Bottas. So the front three very close and competitive on track. Then both Red Bulls quite a way back off the pace. Perez P6 for Force India. We finished in P7 from P20 on the grid with Ocon, Massa and Sainz rounding out the point scorer. So there's a lot for the race here today at Malaysia. A good throwback. We might even race here again. We've got 7 more games to go through on the F1 game, so we may come back again for one more. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe for more, guys. I do daily F1 content on my channel. We are on the road to 75k subs, preferably by the end of the year. It's a bit of an ambitious one, but if you guys want to help me out, then I'd really appreciate it. So hit the like button and subscribe, especially to help me achieve that target. And yeah, as always, a big shout out and massive credit to my channel members for supporting the content. And finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. But that's it from me here today, and I'll see all of you in the next one.